I just really want to start out, first of all, and say I thought Boise really played well. I congratulated Coach Rippon, not Coach Rippon, he played like a coach, but Rippon after the game. I think he's playing as well as what he's played in since we've seen him. We've seen him way too much, but he was spot on, and they had a good plan for us to beat Boise. We were going to need to be at least a +2 in the takeaways, and we weren't able to accomplish that. We were going to need to, play well in the kicking game. We got a punt blocked. We're going to need to tackle well, and that did not occur. They threw the ball deep on us a couple times. We're going to need to protect the quarterback. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we needed to do better, and we didn't. Some of it is some self-inflicted mistakes on our part. I also think that's a really good football team that we played, and they were ready to go tonight, and we need to give them credit. It's disappointing. We should have performed better, but I don't want to take anything away from it. We got beat by a good football team, and we suffered some injuries, and we're on a short week as we get ready for Hawaii, so I'll open up to questions.
Great.
Yep.
I mean, defense line, again, Boise was very good. You knew they were, but, the defense has really been struggling. What's wrong right now with the defense if you had to assess that?
Well, it's a pretty complex question that you ask. I mean, you're looking at, whether we've got to generate some more pass rush. That certainly needs to come about. And certainly we got hit with a couple deep balls tonight. And, we had a really difficult time getting off the field on third down. And so we'll take a look. I think any statement I'd make right now, Robert, might be a little bit inaccurate, but, we've got to play better.
Coach, you mentioned, missed tackles. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
it's been a few more this year than we were, seeing last season. I guess what do you kind of attribute
Well,
that
you
to?
know what? I think I can agree with that, but if you remember the Oregon game, we had a lot of missed tackles as well. Like I said, Boise's a top 25 team. I believe they deserve to be there. We certainly can play better and we can tackle better.
I know you talked about the third down and you have to view the film, but what were they doing so well to keep the defense on the field and convert?
Well, we tried pressure. They were, many times they were not third down and extra long, but they were third down and medium. So, we tried different schemes as far as pressures. That came up short. I thought Rippon was spot on with where he went with the football. A lot of the passes were underneath passes, but they were able to convert. And so we've got to figure out a way to, create a longer yardage situation, and then we've got to generate some more pass rush. And then the other thing we just needed to do, we had a couple opportunities for some interceptions tonight. Now, they would have been some really special plays, but we didn't make any of those.
It looked like you lost your punter to looked like a knee injury. I mean, do you know what's going on there, and what other injuries at least that you know of from this game?
You know what? Right now, that's the only one I do know about. We'll find out a lot more tomorrow. The initial assessment is not very good, though. But once we get some information, we'll go from there.
You got the young quarterback, the young beat up offensive line. When you fall in that kind of hole against them, does that kind of play into their hands where they can just kind of pin back?
Well, we certainly put blood in the water, and I thought there were some things that Tyler really did well tonight. I think he's starting to emerge and play a little bit better, but there's certainly things that he's got to learn to do better. When to get rid of the football and not to take some sacks, but. We do have some young players in the offensive line, but I think we can play better than what we did also.
Just initial assessment, Craig, you had Kreider at center and a Budgie in there. I mean, no, you'll look at film, but just initial reaction, think that went okay? Or
I thought there was some good things we did as far as movement. Some of Nico's runs beyond him hitting a couple creases, I thought we got good movement. So we'll look at that. The feedback I got on a couple of those big runs were that we got great movement up front. So maybe that's a good combination for us. We needed more of it, I know that, yes.
How nice was it to have Nico back, just that veteran who can see some things?
Well, it was great. I wish we could have gotten him going earlier. I'm not saying that the game was over at halftime, but it was going to be a pretty deep hole for us. But we came out with a big play. And Nico's shown he's got more speed than what I can remember, so I think we need to utilize him more.
With the block punt and the muff punt, was there anything, Boise was doing differently to get through on?
We had an error on the block punt. The muff punt, I think it was a low snap. Tim didn't handle it well. So those are two, do things you can't do, and they had the same exact thing against Oklahoma State. And so we're going to have to play well. I knew we were going to have to play well tonight, and I thought we played marginal, I would say, at best. And I probably will, after I watch the tape later on tonight, I may even have a more negative assessment than that.
What is your biggest concern right now coming out of this game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of guys in this locker room. We've got some good ability, but I think we need to make sure that our guys are playing with some confidence. But the other thing we've got to do is, I think we're playing some undisciplined football, and that goes on my shoulders. And when you play a good team like this, you need to be disciplined, and we didn't do that tonight, especially at the start. So I think those are some things that I am concerned about. That's some things that we can correct, and they've kind of reared their ugly head a couple times, and that's not been characteristic of the teams that I've had a chance to be around, a couple of them, but it's my 15th year, so we got to get that straight. Other questions?